All right, back with two tables of 5 and L, and haven't played too much this week. I played a little 5 and L Zoom earlier today. Started woefully, two buy-ins plus down in about 100 hands, then got most of it back. And just before I managed to get the start recording, I had a set of nines against a guy who flopped a flush. So, you know, we lost about 20 big blinds in that hand. Nothing too bad. One thing I've noticed is that I'm going to have to fold these sevens. Is that my river calling, like in spots where I think I'm losing, but I still have a strong hand, and I think, well, I could beat top two, or I could beat X, or I could beat Y. I keep calling, and I keep being up against better hands. So I think one thing I am going to have to do is start being a little bit more disciplined, particularly on large river bets, and get putting in a few more folds. So I will three bet here with the queens. Yeah, that's fine. And we're just going to check this Jack 7. Guy limping in here, don't really know what that's all about. So yeah, that whole thing about folding more when you think you beat, even if you have a strong hand. Because the other day I had a hand where I had pocket aces, and guy raises from early position. I three bet on the button. He calls. Flop comes 8-3-3. He checks. I bet. He calls. Turn is a king. He checks. I bet. He raises. He raises small. Now, realistically, on that board, like he doesn't have that many hands, but the hands he does that with all beat me. But what do I do? Like a clown, I just call and then call off on the river. He had pocket threes, which I thought was a little bit unreasonable. Pocket eights I could kind of say, okay, the pocket threes probably should just fold three, queen nine off that. Maybe that's a call. This is a slightly dicey three bet here with ace king, just because this guy's stats are so insanely tight. Where if he four bets here, I think this is just going to be a fold. There was another hand I had in that same session where I had ace king, and it came ace high in a three bet pot, ace 8-10, and I bet the flop and he called something like that, and then the turn was like a nothing, and he just shoved all in. So I called, he had ace eight. So it's difficult. That's a kind of spot there I don't think I could fold. I think that one actually was fine. I think the aces one, I have to start asking myself, if people aren't bluffing, what are they doing with it? What are they doing it with? Because a lot of people at these stakes, there are certain lines taken which are very, very rarely a bluff. One of the reasons with the aces I felt I had to call was you could still see people have ace king or king queen there and just be overvaluing it. That's the downside, where sometimes you have somebody playing a hand too strongly, just because they're overvaluing it. Anyway, 3-4 of diamonds. I think closing the action. This is okay to call. As you know, always the problem with this type of hand is you need to absolutely hammer the flop, and we could take one off here, I suppose, but I don't want to start just dribbling more chips off. It's a quick fire way just to start losing plenty of chips. Jack 9, we'll take a flop. And we'll bet one big blind in position. Hope that he's just not interested. Oops. I was kind of wishing I'd recorded what I played earlier. Loads of interesting hands. And unfortunately, didn't record it. And this session so far, we're already 50 hands in, so the session is still pretty young at whopping 4 minutes old. We've not really had much to say. Well, I've had plenty to say, but just not about the hands. Right, ace queen offsuit, under the gun raise. I think we'll go for a squeeze here. I think we'll make it. We'll make it. Yeah, we'll make it one more. One more. Calls. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get too many folds on this board. I think he'll still think we want to bet. We did 3-bet pre. Don't like his call. I don't. Is he going to have many sets on this board? I mean, fours, fives, threes. They should not be calling. But if he has stands like eights and sevens, he could have a hand similar to the one we have. I think we just bet small and then just shove a lot of rivers. I mean, I don't know if I like having the ace of diamonds here. I don't know if he's going to have a set very often. I still think we do want the shove, but obviously don't like it. And we get called by eights, which I don't know. That's the kind of hand I thought he had. I would be doing that if I had aces or kings. So I don't know if that's just terrible play or not. I kind of think that it's okay play, but people just don't tend to fold those sorts of spots. Like, what does he think I have? Does he think? Okay, so ace jack here. It's offsuit. It's a shitty hand in this particular spot. We're going to fold. It's already a buy-in down. Disappointing start. I don't know if that kind of hand is just sort of an unnecessary buy-in. I think my line is probably okay. Like I say, I would be taking that with aces, kings, and queens because I think his hand is so obvious that it's sevens, eights, ten. That it's just that sort of hand. Anyway, never mind. And we lost, and we suck it up. 3-bet the tens. And we'll bet small here with the jack nine. Get called. I do think we want to go for a large bet here. We just get rid of his stuff like 7-8, but if this gets called, then I might have to sort of rethink my policy on bluffing. There's too many are getting called. Okay. Interesting to see what a good player thought of that hand when the guy had the eights. I don't know if it's just, from my perspective, you just don't need to do that stuff at these limits, but yeah, hey ho. Random rave off. Raise it up with the ace queen. I don't know if, again, I don't know if this is a call. We've got there's something I'm here called to. I think this probably is a call, given that note, which mentions king, queen, fives. Okay. All right, let's run it, see if we can get there. Oh dear. And we can't. So unfortunately, the session really not going well at all. Topping back up. I think that probably is a call. If a guy's shoving fives, then I think ace queen offsuit does become a call. He just must be shoving so much stuff if he's shoving fives. Okay, tens again. Whoops, not concentrating there. So we've had the min raise. And 6-5 of hearts to a smaller 3-bet we would call, but to a large one against a guy who's got pretty tight stat. We'll just give it up. Ace jack of clubs and kings. Okay, a couple of hands here. Raise under the gun. The guy playing half a stack who's got somewhat active stats. And a 3-bet, so we'll go for the cold 4. And what do we want to go here? Yeah, I think that's fine. So if he shoves, when it could be aces, but get called, and I'm going to 3-bet here with the 9s. So we don't need to bet too large here. I think this is fine, and then we can just shove the turn. Either we get 4-bets or toss the 9s. Okay. So I guess that must have just been ace king or ace queen. All right, well, we won a hand. It's better than we have been doing, so it's progress. 10s again. And 6s, a lot of these sessions I get lately, I seem to be getting reasonable cards, just not working out that well. I will check the 10s. Probably just check call. This guy is playing a lot of hands, so don't really necessarily want to bet. I think we can check call and maybe check call twice, depending on how much he bets. For this sizing, I guess, but people can turn up here like 6s and 7s, but too often it's going to be like ace 9 or something. Ace 8. Yeah. I have an impressive record at calling my opponent's hand and then just paying them off. Apparently that's a talent I've got. Just check down here with the same hand. Okay, this guy really wants the hand, and we're going to have to let him have it with our ace 3 of spades. It's a huge 3-bet there. Another pocket pair here. And another pretty lousy flop. We'll just go with a 3rd with range on this. Can still be good. Obviously, going to have the hands like King Jack, King 10, and all that. I don't know if I want to start just blasting and turning the 8s into a bluff, so I think we'll just check them back. Just don't see me being good here very often. I'm sort of talking myself into calling, but again, his stats are, like so often here around, his stats are very tight, and I don't really want to start paying people off. So I can't really say earlier, like, no one seems to be bluffing on the river. Yeah, I keep calling them. The session isn't going very well, getting 3-bet quite a lot, and we've got marginal hands. Now this guy calls, I think we can also call. It is a hand that I'd rather call with this than like King Jack, but it's the kind of hand that does need plenty of help. And it doesn't get any. What was I saying about King Jack? I take that back. Okay. I should actually have the auto top up on. I'm just gonna put that on next time. I think here we'll go for a check raise. I think. Okay, doesn't let us. So we'll just go for a bet on the river. One of them sessions. Why does it keep putting my stack to like weird amounts? I thought I've got next time I play, I'm just going to have the auto top up one. I said I'd doing that. I said I was going to do that for a while. Now I'm actually going to do it. Okay, King Nine of Diamonds to this weird min raise. Well, cool. That guy limped in and then folded to a min raise. That's very strange. Okay, he checks back. Then we can now bet. Yeah, I don't really know what he was doing there. And Jack 8 of Spades. I think we can go ahead and defend. Might not be a bad spot to check raise. We do have a gut shot. We have backdoor spades. And I think that's what we're going to do. After we min raise the ace queen, I'll get myself in trouble over here with no hand. That one gets through. Ace queen against a guy who in not that many hands, only 50 hands, but he hasn't 3-bet a single time. Ace queen just generally not a great hand to call with. Let's just hope he has kings and that I don't look too silly. Getting 3-bet a lot tonight, and again by people who have 0 3-bet stats. This is another guy who's not 3-bet once. Maybe because we fold the 3-bets too much, people 3-bet us a lot. Okay, ace queen again. Although I kind of thought that earlier when I played. Another hand I lost. I think it was ace king. Yeah, ace king on the button. 3-bet the cutoff. He 4-bet me. I blasted all in. He had aces. Excuse me. Open up the king 10 of clubs. And we get 3-bet again. This time it's very small. I think this is a good enough hand just to call with. I don't think I want a 4-bet bluff with it. It's just too nice of a hand to waste. So I think we'll call. In a flop. No. And we get a large continuation bet. And again, I don't really want to do anything. Just fold. Well, I don't know. Is this just spewy? Do we just call, or is this just a huge spew? He's done it so quickly. And he does have relatively active stats, so we'll go for this one. We'll go for it. Okay. I mean, he had pretty much exactly what you'd expect. When someone plays that fast, it's just like, that's just ace king. But sometimes you're having a session where you couldn't win to save your life, and this apparently is one of those. So we'll play for a little longer and then have to admit defeat, I think. And again, here we get 3-bet. And again, it's by a guy who over a large sample doesn't have a high 3-bet. So we'll be disciplined, we'll fold. I don't know if it's just disciplined or just weak at this point. The tens there is generally not an all-in. It's not a play I make all that often. But often when people, the experience I've got is when people do things very quickly, it is so seldom a strong hand. Again, we have another player 3-betting who's literally never 3-bet. But we've got a pretty hand, so we'll call in position with it. And we'll flop a flush draw. And we will go ahead and we can go either way. We'll call and do hit the flush. And I guess, like, I don't think people bet this big just to fold, so I think we'll just go all in. Like if he has ace king with a heart or ace queen with a fold, wow. Should just call. Should just call. May cost ourselves chips there. Don't think he's going to have too many bluffs though. So we have to keep thinking clearly even when it's not going our way, and that's something I do struggle with. We just fold these. So we're down, I think, like 2.5 buy-ins in the space of like less than 200 hands. So weird day that's been really up and down, mostly down. That there with a 10-9 of hearts. Yeah, I didn't think he would fire 3-bet pre-fire twice on that board and then just not go with it. But I was wrong. And get there on the river with the king 8. Nice. And we'll open from both in the small blind. And we'll go for a large bet, I think, on this board. Immediately get cool and get a shit turn. And we've got no equity whatsoever. And so I'm just not going to keep blasting. I don't have, this guy is new. I have no stats on him whatsoever. The thing is, if he has hands like 10-8, 10-7, they do find it hard to call. So I probably should fire, but getting a little gun shy. And yeah, we'll give up. We'll actually wait till we have a hand. 10-9 of hearts, I'm regretting not just calling on the turn and letting the guy bluff off. That was a mistake. I think that's a part of my game also I need to change, that not be worried about bad river, like just call, and if the guy does have bluffs, just let him keep bluffing. Really bad board here with the ace jack, a board I'm going to be check folding a lot. And yeah, I think there's much I can do on that. Oh, 4x raise. It's kind of a pretty hand, though. There are very few hands on this guy. Is this a defend to 4x? I'm not totally sure, but we will. Flop top 2. And immediately get checked back. We immediately get a lovely turn. And a lovely river. I don't think he's ever going to be checking back a big heart, so we're just going to bet large. Is he really checking back that quickly with the ace of hearts, or the king of hearts, or any heart? I doubt it. Get a free one with the old 10-8, and we get what we paid. What is this guy going to be limping with? Is he going to have a lot of ace-x? Probably is. We have the 10 of diamonds as a bit of backup. Seen quite a bit of this today. This sort of limping. I'm not really sure what people are doing it with. Whether it's just someone who just limps sort of everything they've got. Don't know. And I get a pretty decent flop here. Right. I actually think I do want to overbet here. I want to put a lot of pressure on stuff like King Jack, Queen Jack. Yeah. So ace 10 offsuit. I think it's an okay open. Maybe I'm going to get a tiny bit tighter from under the gun and second position. Maybe three bet a little bit more. We will three bet with ace queen. Although this again, this is maybe slightly loose. Get called. And he folds. Not really sure what this is going to be, but I do think we have to. We'll just see bet for that. That works this time. Wonder what hand that is. Raise under the gun, three bet from middle position, big blind just cold calls, check folds the flop. Who knows? We'll open the 7-8 of clubs. Call from the big blind, and we'll just see bet this board with our whole range. Sort of a weird turn card. Like I don't know what he's going to call the flop with and now fold. We could even have the best hand. He could just be floating with anything. We have I guess probably the world's most useless flush draw, which of course we make when we don't give a toss about it. I don't know if we can bet. Like I think if he had a jack, he would probably bet. So we are probably good. But what will call us that's worse? Ace high? Yeah, that might have called us. Maybe that was a bet. I think we can bet here. We can get called by a big club or 9-10 or something like that. There's three clubs that we look. Can we value bet this? Yeah, it wouldn't have got called anyway. But he didn't three bet free with his 10, so that's kind of a weird hand. Wouldn't have expected to see that. Get called. We get what should hopefully be a pretty decent flop for kings. We get a flush draw here, so we'll certainly be betting. Not a great card, that. I think he has quite a decent number of jacks when he calls the flop. He can also have a 7 or a king, or just random floats. Don't know if I want to keep betting it. I think we'll just go ahead and check. Six high flush draw on a paired board, out of position. Good price, shocking hand. We'll go conservative. We'll throw it away. Probably a little too conservative. Ace Jack off against a 3.4 from there. I'm just going to fold. Okay, we get three bet again. I don't have a huge number of hands, although again this guy hasn't 3-bet yet, but it's only 17 hands. We will go ahead and just calling all jacks, calling all jacks. Checks back. No reason for us to bet here. We just check and yeah, I mean he can still have king queen. He can also have like kings or queens as well. So we just hope he has king queen and we're good. And apparently I guess that's what he must have had, unless he had hand like eights. And he had 7-8 of clubs. So weird that you would 3-bet that and then play so passively post flop. And we'll go for a very loose ISO with 7-5 of diamonds. And we'll just go for a standard c-bet of a third pot. Right, now check back and call some rivers, because we are still going to have the best hand a good chunk here. If I'm getting myself in trouble again, no stats on this guy at all. He can have hands. I mean, I'm going to talk myself calling it again. Have like loads of Broadway hands with one heart. So I guess I'm going to call and just lose. And if I do, I'm probably just going to have to stop with these kind of plays. Ace-6 offsuit. Okay, yeah, it's probably time. It's time to stop. Could have just bet the turn and I didn't. And yeah, the guy's playing ace-6 offsuit like that. I think this is the same guy. We'll go for a big old squeeze here. Let's go to 12. So that's another example of me just pissing chips away, probably unnecessarily. Get called. Fuck me. So I think we're going to make this the last orbit set out next hand, because this has been such a shocking session. And like when you get kings and it comes like that, it's like, okay, time to probably end the session, because that there, if he's doing that without an ace into two people, good luck to him. Okay, so let's see what the damage was. $13, is it? There's a little over 2.5 buy-ins. Pretty awful. I'll have a look back at the session, see how I think I played. There was definitely some spots there that were unnecessary. Just right at the end there, that was a stupid one with 7-5. Uh, yeah. The tens hand was a high variance play. We're a little bit unlucky to lose both boards. The bluff I did with ace queen against the eights. I don't know if I hate that bluff or not. I think it's going to work against a lot of people at these stakes, because with eights he doesn't beat very much against most people here, because I don't think many people triple barrel bluff. What other hands were of any meaning? I can't remember. Anyway, shite session. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly didn't. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.